Greetings one and all. What the fuck was that? Greetings one and all. My name is Lancer and welcome back once again to Fate Zero. We will be doing episodes 22 and 23 today. And last time on episodes 20 and 21, Ari's body and everything has begun to finally shut down as she has revealed that she is the vessel for what will be the Holy Grail, since we are now going into the end of the war. And she had one final goodbye both to Maya and to Kiritsugu, returning Avalon to Kiritsugu. Since going into these final battles, he's gonna need it. But she also tells Maya that they need to win this war, because if they don't, then Elia's gonna be next, which, fuck Fate's Day Night. After that, they were attacked by seemingly Rider, as he then captured Iris Vale, and then as Saber pursued him, she encountered the real Rider, and they had a bit of a fight, and Saber actually unleashed Excalibur and destroyed Rider's chariot. And finally, it turns out that the Rider who captured Iris Vale was actually Berserker in disguise, using a noble phantasm, as Karia is now under the service and manipulation of Kirei. And unfortunately, Berserker did succeed in killing Maya, who gave a final goodbye to Kiritsugu. Just an interesting thing that Kiritsugu was more emotional with Maya dying than Iris, and then we ended last episode with Kirei setting up Karia to look like he killed Tokiyomi using his body, and then of course Tokiyomi's wife Aoi showed up, who of course Karia has feelings for still, and then Karia choked her out and killed her. Of course Gilgamesh is being like, this wasn't bad for your first script. Either way, we are now going into the final, well, we have 4 episodes, but 3 videos left to do. We'll be doing 22 and 23 today, and then 24 will be its own episode, and 25 will be its own episode. So, without further ado, I'm dreading this one just because I know certain things that happen and a character that we will be losing. Several characters, actually, but the big one. Let's just get right into the episode. Glory lies beyond the horizon. Oh yeah, they had to walk back because they don't have a chariot anymore.
Just come on up here. Let's talk for a while.
He wants to talk? Why do we have to talk on the roof?
He really does like you, boy. The old man seems to have something important he wants to tell you. Relax, boy. I'll patrol the area and keep watch.
This is an interesting thing with Waiver and his grandparents, just because I don't think I included it in the first episode, but these aren't obviously his actual grandparents. It's just, you know, he needed a place to stay while he's in Fuyuki for the war, so he just picked this place. He put them under a hypnosis spell. Like, yeah, I'm your grandson that came back from abroad.
Just a tyke, we used to come up to the roof on clear nights and stargaze all the time. We dreamed of sitting up here gazing at the beautiful sky with our grandchildren alongside us. We never thought our wish would actually come true, though. In all these years, our real grandchildren never once came up here to watch the sky with us.
Broke it free of the spell a little bit.
You really aren't our grandson, are you? You were a bit too nice to be our grandson. You really messed up there.
He's too nice. It's interesting with that. It's just like, it's probably because expending so much mana with Rider probably loosened the grip on that spell or whatever.
It doesn't seem to me you decided to move in with Martha and I because you intended to cause us any harm.
Yeah, he just needed a place to stay.
If you can, Martha and I would really like it if you'd stay with us a while longer.
I can't promise that. I can't even guarantee I'll make it back here safely.
This is war.
I gather you two are risking your lives? When you've had a long life like me and look back on it all, you come to realize that there is absolutely nothing in this world so valuable or so important that it's really worth risking that life for.
And therein lies the truth of youth, always running so headlong into unbeknownst danger that it really isn't until your later years in life when you look back on it that you realize, was that even really worth it? But at the time, some of the smallest things may seem like some of the biggest. This is the first time you see a Ryudo temple, another Fate's Day Night set piece.
I guess it's been about 40 hours since I last slept.
Jesus. It's so crazy with this because all that's left of Kiritsugu's team now is him and Saber, but, you know, him and Saber aren't exactly on the same page. Things were going so well for them at one point, and then all of a sudden Kirei he's in full control of the war now.
Once again, I'm all alone.
Goes back to his backstory after he was forced to kill Natalia. It's such a simple thing that just once again I'm all alone, but then I still have Saber.
I never really figured her into my plans.
Never figured her, even though you wouldn't be in this war still if it weren't for her. This is like the only time he's finally acknowledged her.
I've been searching the whole city for Irisveel's location, but I found no sign of her.
At least she comes back to him.
If you need me, summon me, using the command seal.
Just doesn't even look at her. I'm gonna be pausing a lot this couple episodes. This is gonna be a long one.
Can you hear me, woman?
Woman. Why is he stanced up like that?
This building was once the place where Castor's young master hid.
Yeah.
Soon the Holy Grail War will be over. It's likely that I'll be the one that will have the power to grant the wish of the Ainsburns.
Kiritsugu Emiya has already seen right through you, Kire. He recognizes you as his most dangerous enemy.
Your words are as the gospel to my ears.
Oh, I love the transformation of Kirei, man. Just from like the start of the series where he's just sullen, frowning, somber, just not even concerned with his own well-being, to now he's just like smiling, just like, yes, I'm going to win this war. Finally, I've begun to recognize him.
Even though Kiritsugu can see through you, the reverse is impossible.
Why do you speak of me in such a manner, woman?
Choking her again.
If he does not doubt or find this life pointless as I do, then what is he?
What is he?
What is his wish? What would he ask of the Holy Grail?
An end to all warfare, and bloodshed and suffering.
What was that? Conflict is intrinsic to humanity. To eliminate it completely would mean the elimination of humanity itself.
Well, Kira's already seen through the wish.
Nonsense that a child would spout.
Yes, and that is why his only hope is for a true miracle.
True miracle.
To sacrifice the lives of people he's loved because of his beliefs. He must love, even knowing it will mean losing that love.
God, how many times are you gonna choke this woman, man? Yeah, this is the last time. Fuck. Well, her death was inevitable, but fuck.
I understand well. So that is Kiritsugu Emiya. I shall grind your ideals to dust right before you, along with the Holy Grail you long for.
I forgot to do this last time, but pour one out for Maya, because I forgot to do that last time, and pour another one out for Airi. Both Kiritsugu's girls back to back, man. Both because of Kirei. Even though there's still Waiver and Karya, this war has come down to just Kiritsugu and Kirei.
Oh, you finally woke up, boy.
I thought I told you to wake me up at...
I can't say why exactly, but it feels like everything will be concluding tonight.
Can't wait to see the counter at the end of this episode. Spinning the globe.
From now on, only the truly strong remain in the battle.
Does that mean that someone got the Grail and the war is over?
Somebody is getting way ahead of themselves and claiming to be victorious.
Shit.
The big showdown is going to happen tonight.
Last 4 episodes. Right into battle.
Now that we have our battlefield, I must go forth and bring honor to the rider class.
He doesn't have the chariot anymore, but he does have his horse.
From this point, only the truly strong can continue, right? By his command seal, Waiver Velvet orders you. Fight until you attain the victory you seek. And by my command seal, I further order that you, Rider, go now and win the Holy Grail. And by command seal, I further order, Rider, take the world for your own. I will not tolerate failure.
Take the world for your own. Now he's free.
It's all over. I'm no longer your master.
But after all those annoying orders you just gave, surely you're prepared to see this through to the end.
You total idiot!
Master or not, boy, you are still my friend and always will be.
Bros for life, man.
Okay with me? You want someone like me by your side?
Up until now, have you not faced the same enemies as I have? That means you're my friend. So be proud and consider yourself my equal.
Equal to the king of conquerors.
Well, let's see what you can do.
Can still fly.
Right before my open eyes.
He's smiling too now.
His plan is not to obtain the Grail.
Karya.
To use it as bait. To lure me and the other masters into a trap. I'll just outmaneuver and eliminate him quickly.
It's the only choice at this point.
What if this place falls under attack while I'm gone?
Will you allow me to utilize the command seals to save myself?
I will.
I mean, that just shows. Obviously, Gilgamesh respects Kirei way more than Tokiomi.
For tonight, I shan't be holding back.
I shan't.
But have you still no prayer to offer the Holy Grail?
I can think of nothing I want. My only hope is that nothing will interfere with the conduct of the battle we're about to enter.
If it appears as if Saber will be arriving here before I can return, just have Berserker entertain her for a little while.
It's interesting that Archer and Berserker are working together now, considering their rivalry from, like, the earlier episodes. All the other homunculus.
Are you crying? Are you, Mother?
Yulia.
And then I dreamed that these 7 gigantic lumps started to come into my body. It's okay. I would never let that happen. I promise that will never happen to you, Elia.
Yeah.
Inside the Holy Grail?
It's like the opening.
It shouldn't be happening if I'm here. Who am I?
This song.
This is inside the Holy Grail.
Her outfit's changed now.
Wish the end is nearly at hand.
4 hours. Safe to say we're about to see Irisvale's true colors. What she was always meant to be. Episode 23.
Over there.
On the bridge.
Are you scared, boy?
Yeah, I'm scared. I'm wondering if this is what you mean when you say that your heart is dancing.
The fight that was fated. There's still another fight that was fated, though. Just these set pieces for these battles, man. A bridge and a parking garage.
Berserker?
Yes.
Are they having a party here?
Drinking again.
Where's that little chariot of yours?
I'm embarrassed to say I lost it to Saber in a battle.
I believe I told you that I would fight and defeat you when you were at full strength.
Kind of a cool detail, just him. I mean, he was putting the cup down, but, like, you know, kind of kneeling to him in a way.
Tonight is less than perfect, and thus is far greater than perfection itself.
It appears you have come before me actually believing that you have a chance of victory.
King of Conquerors versus King of Heroes.
Our banquet's last question.
I shall allow it.
Were my Ionian Hetairoi armed with your Gate of Babylon, it would create the most powerful army imaginable. The two of us together could conquer the universe and beyond if we desired it.
You never cease to amuse me, mongrel.
Oh, man.
I have had one comrade, and he is all I ever intend to have.
You think he's talking about Kirei? Which, in a sense, yes, but not that they'll talk about it here, but Enkidu. Let's just say we'll see him later. But yeah, just that idea there, just the Ionian Hetairoi combined with Gate of Babylon. There's another fate what if there. It's just like, what if that actually happened? What if Gilgamesh just said, fuck you to the Grail? And I mean, granted, it's like, how could they last then? I guess you could have it be a thing. They take the Holy Grail for themselves and be like, give us reincarnation. What does the world look like if Iskandar and Gilgamesh? I mean, really, Iskandar knows how Gilgamesh is going to respond to that question. He asks it knowing he's going to laugh at him. Because really, there is no world in which the two of them fight side by side. It's only them fighting each other. Though they share similar ideals, they're too different in how they go about them.
Furthermore, there is no need for there to be two kings.
Exactly.
With all respect due to a king, I shall challenge your strong, unwavering spirit.
Very well. Show me what you think you can do, King of Conquerors.
Well, he knows what he can do.
Are you guys actually friends with each other?
I could hardly be unfriendly to him. After all, he may very well be the last person I ever see.
Have you forgotten my command seal?
Your 3 command seals?
You are right.
In a way, Ryder's sort of accepting his fate. I mean, kind of have to against someone like Gilgamesh. You gotta bear in mind, going way back to episode 11, it's just like Tokiomi, the whole thing with the assassin fight, he wanted Ryder to use it so Archer could have an advantage against him, and well, Ryder's used the Ionian Hetairoi another time since then as well. It's another cool thing, is just they're fighting on the bridge. I mean, obviously it's a really cool set piece, but it's also where they first talked about how they will fight each other, was, you know, after the end of the caster fight.
Gather here, my glorious comrades! Tonight we shall become the greatest legends in all of eternity!
Ionian Hetairoi.
Let us show the first heroic spirit, our noble path of ultimate conquest!
How does Gilgamesh counter this?
Come to me, Lord of Conquering Armies. Now you will be privileged to behold the sight of a true king.
There's still this fight, though. Those are noble phantasm bullets, though. So, like, imagine if he touched Excalibur. Is that a Barrett 50 cal? And an MP5! Yeah, Karya.
He must fight a battle right now that needs mana.
More than you can give.
Because that priest, he made a promise to me that he'd give me the grail once he got it.
Of course, Kirei said that to him. I'll give you the grail. Well, again, like, Karya doesn't know that Kirei is still a master or even was a master. He thinks he's just part of the church. He thinks he's the overseer.
I'll be able to see Mother again?
See your mother.
Oh, God. Is there a point in keeping the sword invisible?
Now.
Ah, shit. Oop.
No good.
Caught it. He knows how long. Ooh, I never actually noticed that. He was starting to take control of it. Damn, see, so much little stuff in this show. Just even fourth time I'm watching this fucking episode. I never noticed he actually, I literally just talked about that earlier. Imagine if he touches Excalibur. I forgot that he does. But he actually started to corrupt it.
Could he be some knight I once knew?
Gonna finally get his true identity.
If you know me to be Arturia Pendragon, name yourself right now. As a knight's pride demands, challenging me with your identity concealed is tantamount to using deceit.
He's a berserker. Getting rid of the fog.
That's erudite. Sir Lancelot.
Lancelot.
You were esteemed as the greatest of all the knights of the Round Table.
It's interesting, like, taking something like that and, like, Saber's actually getting closure on something in this new life. It's like, in a way, every servant in this is, because it's literally taking them from the point when they died in their life to then bringing them to the modern day, so Bayashi just never knew he ended up like this. Well, then again, it's all based on, like, the class, though. It's like, if Lancelot was summoned into another class, like Archer or even Saber, he wouldn't be acting like this. Like, sure, him and Arturia would probably still have disdain towards each other, but, you know, he's insane because he's a berserker. I mean, it still ties, though, to what happened to him in life, though. In his legend. Kinda cool he's not 3D anymore.
You may indeed have saved them. You never led them.
Oh, it all comes full circle.
I never really led them. My kingship.
You're just a little girl.
How I rule drive you to this? Please stop, Lancelot.
It's cool hearing those lines from Ryder again, especially during this episode. You may indeed have saved them, but you never led them. I kind of wish they also threw in the line of, you abandoned your men when they lost their way. Like, they literally, in that flashback, it showed she turned her back on him. And also in that episode, you know, she talked about just like there was once a knight who left Camelot and all that. Back to this battle.
Uniting dreams beneath a banner of conquest.
How's he gonna
I
kill
praise
it?
your efforts, at least.
A key.
Dreams disappear when the dreamer wakes. Every last one of them, with no exception.
It's interesting, kind of referring to his soldiers as dreams. He just pulled out a key. Keys are meant to unlock. What the hell is he unlocking? I remember seeing this for the first time, like, what the hell?
It was inevitable that I would be the one to stand in your way. I shall show you the stark reality.
I think that sphere is meant to represent like Earth, or kind of like the Big Bang, which more on that in a second. But I mean, taking it back to the caster fight when Tokiomi wanted Gilgamesh to use something called the Sword of Dissociation. Let's just say that wasn't a throwaway line.
Now awaken, Ea! A stage worthy of you has been set!
Ea.
Look up and behold, Enumai Leash!
Enumai Leash. Breaking the marble. With just one shot. One shot of his most powerful noble phantasm, but...
Sword is the anti-universe noble phantasm that can destroy all creation?
Anti-universe. There's some running. He knows it's over. Just like that. So yeah, that was Ea, aka the Sword of Dissociation. Also, my favorite noble phantasm ever. Other names that I've given it include the Alt F4 sword. He said anti-universe, but I don't think there's a classification that high. I'm pretty sure it's just anti-world. Anti-world, pretty much. If Gilgamesh wanted, he could use that sword and blow up the entire planet if he wanted to. I mean, he says a stage worthy of you has been set, but it's like, that's the only noble phantasm I think that could counter his Ionian Hetairoi. But yeah, Sword of Dissociation. Dissociating, I guess, between like reality and actual reality, I guess. Does make you wonder though. It's like if Rider, for whatever reason, never used Ionian Hetairoi until this moment, would Gilgamesh have been able to counter it? I feel like he still would have probably seen it and been like, oh, reality marble? Okay, I know how to counter these. Like, how do you counter a world? Use an anti-world destroying noble phantasm. As if he wasn't already overpowered enough. With an infinite storehouse that houses every noble phantasm known to creation. On top of that, he has a sword that can blow up the entire planet. But, I mean, on Ea, it's meant to represent when Earth and heaven split. Kind of like in the Bible, I guess, you know, when God created the heavens and the earth, this sword is like the explosion that divided them, I guess. Each of the rotating segments, the top one's heaven, earth, underworld. I'm probably getting some stuff wrong. Again, it's been a long time since I've visited the lore, but obviously Gilgamesh was one of the ones that I spent the most time studying. Again, going back to like stuff, I'm just like, I wish like when I was in school I was watching this stuff, because I would have loved to have done some sort of like research paper on Gilgamesh. Even though, you know, it would be the Fate version of Gilgamesh, obviously. The real Gilgamesh, you know, the epic of Gilgamesh. Obviously it takes liberties with his lore, but yeah, Ea, stupidly OP.
Master Waiver Velvet, would you be willing to serve as my retainer?
Oh, that's huge. I actually said his name for the first time, too. Oh, this song.
You are my king, sire. I will serve you with devotion. Let me dream what you dream.
Very well.
Oh, man.
Now live, Waiver. See all of this through. Live long and tell everyone you meet of the last charge of Iskandar.
The last charge. Fuck.
Glory lies beyond the horizon. Challenge the unattainable. Speak of conquest and make it real.
Make it real.
For my men and for those who watch behind me.
For Waiver. Oh, man. Oh, what a shot. Giving it his all to the very end. Now he's on foot. Doesn't stop. Oh my god. Fuck. Another noble phantasm. God. Drop the sword.
It is just one strange toy after another with you, isn't it?
With Ea as well.
Have you awakened from your dream, King of Conquerors?
I suppose I have. My heart was able to dance a good deal.
Feel free to challenge me again as often as you like, King of Conquerors. It will never bore you. It will always be entertaining.
That's an amazing way for him to give respect. Just like in his own way, he's just like, challenge me as much as you want. Inside, he's like, you'll never win, but I guarantee it'll always be entertaining.
That sounds very good.
Okeanos.
It was the beating of my heart. It was the sound of Okeanos' waves.
Well, you're up, Waiver.
Are you Rider's master?
I am not. I am his retainer.
If you are truly a loyal subject to him, your duty now is to avenge your fallen sovereign.
If I challenge you, I'll die.
Yes, of course you will.
I was ordered by him to survive.
Your loyalty is splendid. Never allow anything to tarnish it.
He even gives respect to... God. Oh, man.
He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in paths of righteousness. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. My cup runneth over.
My cup runneth over.
Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life.
They're coming face to face. Oh, fuck. Oh, that episode's even better than I remember. Holy fuck. Oh my god. This episode broke me. There's still 2 episodes left. Fucking hell, we've got a lot to talk about. Well, that was episodes 22 and 23. I was almost tempted to just have 23 by itself. 22 is a fine episode, but I feel like, yeah, just having that by itself would have been just really short. These work together, especially with like 22 having the conversations with Waiver, Rider, and also Waiver's grandfather. Okay, well, first of all, before I forget to do it, everyone pour out a fucking bottle, a cask, a barrel, a fucking ocean's worth of drink. Pour it all out for Iskandar. The king of conquerors, our king, the true king. It's a battle that only ever was going to end that way. There's different what-if things that can be said. It's just like, what if Rider didn't fight Saber before this? And like, what if he still had his chariot? I mean, it's safe to say that even if Rider still had his chariot for this fight, it wouldn't have mattered. You know, even when he did like the last charge, you know, his bull still probably would have gotten shot. He probably would have had more speed, but it ultimately would have ended the same. Plus, another one of Gilgamesh's most powerful noble phantasms, the Chains of Heaven, Enkidu, which again, name I mentioned earlier, which again adds to his being OP. The Chains of Heaven, though they don't really apply to Iskandar here, their main power is that the more divine a being, you know, their origin or whatever, the more godly, the more powerful their hold will be. So for example, if like the Chains of Heaven were for whatever reason used on him, they would actually be very effective because, like I talked about before, Gilgamesh is 2/3 god, so it would be very effective. There's always just that one part where it's just like, I wish he just got like one just little cut, just one little nick, like maybe the sword just barely like hit his forehead, like maybe it didn't draw blood but just like barely hit him. The fact that, you know, we've seen throughout this whole story, Gilgamesh, he's such a mocking person, you know, when he killed Assassin like at the very beginning, you know, when he fought Berserker, Caster, even to Tokiyomi, he's very mocking to those he views as lesser. But to Rider here, there was no mocking. The only kind of mocking was when Rider talked about just like, hey, like if we fought together we could conquer the universe and beyond. That was the only time, you know, he kind of laughed, but he laughed more just the idea and like what he said, just like, this world cannot serve 2 kings. Even though in all reality, it wasn't a fight. Gilgamesh did 2 moves, okay, it was a fight more towards the end, but with like the reality marble thing, Gilgamesh did 1 move and it was done. Like it was more of a fight when, you know, Iskandar did his last charge and, you know, he was deflecting the swords and getting hit. Gilgamesh never moved from that one spot. Just so many layers to the respect he gives him. Just the fact that Gilgamesh really used all of his most powerful weapons to defeat Iskandar. He used Ea, he used the Chains of Heaven, and like the biggest thing that I think goes underappreciated is the fact that he stabbed Iskandar with Ea, the weapon that he gives the utmost respect for, the weapon that has its own vault for, that's not just amongst the other weapons. He stained the weapon with Iskandar's blood. Like he didn't just use another sword or whatever, like he used his most powerful weapon. One thing that is kind of cool is that like in the novelization of Fate Zero, like that part where like you see it like still spinning inside for a few seconds, in the novelization like it talks about just like he felt it pierce his heart and then also like grind his insides, which is like cool detail. But then just also in that moment, like once he stabs him, that's when he stops smiling and then Iskandar starts smiling. I mean, you could tell it's just like Gilgamesh had fun, even though again for him it wasn't much of a fight. In the same way Saber and Lancer were, I'm sure there's a part of Gilgamesh that didn't want the fight to end, even though he knew it had to end. But just also just that respect he gives not only to Iskandar but to Waiver as well. Where's the alternate reality where Waiver tried to, I mean, he knew Waiver wouldn't even be able to lift his arms in time to defeat Gilgamesh, like he'd be dead instantly. I mean, the fact that Also, Gilgamesh didn't put Aya away once Rider was defeated. Like, he kept it out. It's just cool giving him that respect, just like he ordered me to survive, and the fact that Gilgamesh honors that wish. Like, you know, he doesn't just kill Waiver for the sake of it. Also, just that part of live Waiver, tell all of this day about the last charge of Iskandar. But there is a sequel series to all this, which is the El Malloy case files, which I have watched before, which again follows Waiver after the events of this battle as he goes more into his adulthood. While that show isn't the greatest, I would say, it's not, like, it's kind of boring in some parts. Some of the stuff it does delve into with, you know, his relationship with Iskandar and different stuff, it's really cool. And I do enjoy it. And even though it ties more into some of like the Grand Order stuff, as a point where it continues from the events of Fate Zero, I do really like that. Well, there was more stuff that happened in this episode, I guess. I mean, I talked about it with, like, you know, Saber and Berserker, Sir Lancelot. That identity finally revealed. You know, it ties back to all of what Iskandar said to Saber in episode 11. You abandoned your men when they lost their way. Again, it's just cool that we had that scene come back in this episode, which again was Rider's last charge. These last couple episodes, man, like, there's been a couple scenes early on that have kind of made me start to choke up, but oh man, that was when, like, I had tears. I didn't start like dripping. I had tears in my eyes. I mean, how can you not, man? Iskandar's the fucking goat. But yeah, all that remains now is Saber and Berserker's fight. Of course, Gilgamesh is still a factor, and now the ultimate setup for the penultimate episode, the battle between Kiritsugu and Kirei, the battle that was fated from the very beginning, but also the battle that Kiritsugu wanted to avoid at all costs early on. But at this point, like he talked about at the start of this episode, at the end of the last, was his only choice is a full frontal assault. These last two episodes are going to be videos that are going to be their own. Again, we're going to do episode 24 as its own video, and then episode 25 to wrap out this whole series. You know what, fuck it. Keep pouring it out for Iskandar, man. Man fucking deserves it. And then just one last thing, but just like when they were in the reality marble and Gilgamesh talks about just his soldiers just sort of being dreams, the dreams fade away once the sleeper awakes, each and every one with no exception. He looks at like his reality marble and his men just more as just dreams. Destroys the reality marble and then stabs Iskandar, just like, have you finally awakened from your dream? I mean, obviously there's respect with that. Obviously he kept calling him the King of Conquerors, but I kind of wish he called him just Iskandar. But I guess there's that more respect, just calling him King of Conquerors. And yeah, everybody who was at like that banquet, you know, Saber, Rider, and Archer. Rider fought Saber, Rider also fought Archer, but we've yet to have Archer fight Saber. So it's hard to say when it comes to which would do more, Excalibur or Aya. I mean, other Fate stuff aside, my thing is just like, oh, Aya easily eviscerates Excalibur, right? Because, I mean, it's even talked about in this. Excalibur is only an anti-fortress noble phantasm. Aya is a fucking anti-world noble phantasm. I mean, in this, you know, dubbing aside, anti-world, I'm pretty sure, is the ultimate classification. The ultimate EX noble phantasm. I know there's future Fate stuff and like Fate Stay Night where it's just like, oh, they technically, you know, they cancel each other out, but like, no. This is my ultimate canon. But either way, I could talk forever just dissecting just that last scene and just everything else, but we've got 2 more episodes to watch. Also, you know, I showed it earlier, but I wore this shirt, obviously, for one last time. Obviously made sense to wear it for this episode, for the last charge of Iskandar. But either way, this has been my reaction to episodes 22 and 23. Join me next time for episode 24, the penultimate episode to Fate Zero, as well as everything else that'll be coming out soon. So until next time, I'm Lancer. Thanks for